So my mum was diagnosed with bladder cancer in May 2017, and my initial reaction was just that I was shocked. I really could not believe it. She told me about all the risk groups and she wasn't in any of them. And I think our whole family was just shocked. It was completely unexpected and we did not know what to do. In the first few weeks, it was quite an equal balance of me supporting mum and mum supporting me as well. I think the hardest thing about dealing with the diagnosis was seeing mum so stressed and worried, because it's not that often that you see your mum concerned, and when you do, you feel like you have something to worry about as well. But at the same time, I felt like I couldn't look worried around her because that would stress her out further. So mum was diagnosed in 2017 right before my HSC trials, and initially I found it really hard to cope with the diagnosis. I was thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get through this year, I don't know how I'm going to do my trials, and I didn't even think that my trials really mattered that much anymore, because I was starting to realise that there was more than just the HSC in my life at the moment. And so as I came to terms with the diagnosis, I feel like it was actually beneficial to my HSC as well, because I began to realise that there was life after the HSC and there was more than just year 12 at that point in time. Whereas before the diagnosis, I was just kind of swept up into year 12 and year 12 was my life. I also kind of used study as a coping mechanism as well, because I knew how to study and I knew how to study well. So it was something that was constant throughout the year. I didn't really feel like I could talk to that many people about my feelings. I didn't want to tell too many teachers at school because I didn't want my school life to become my life at home as well. And I didn't always want to talk to mum about it either, because I didn't want her to stress out thinking that I was worried about her. So I mostly just talked to our dog, Jessie, and she was great because we just had late night cuddles. Yeah, she really helped because she doesn't talk back. She doesn't know, well, she knows that you're stressed and worried, and she definitely just having her there and being able to talk to her and not having it affect her or affect anyone else is really comforting, to know that you can just express your feelings and that she's just going to love you and be happy to see you every single time. School had a lot of facilities available that was nice to know that they were there if I needed them. So when mum was first diagnosed with bladder cancer, they got a book when they went to the hospital, and Dad left it sitting on the table one day, and so I kind of took that book and paged through it a little bit and looked up some of the websites that were in it and just read through a couple of people's stories about how they dealt with it, and like if their family member passed away or just the whole process, so that I felt kind of more prepared for what was coming rather than just diving into the deep end not really knowing what's going to happen. So for the first couple of days when I was at school, I didn't really tell anyone. And then as I kind of realised that I wanted some people to know, just so I didn't feel like I had to hide anything, I just told a couple of really close friends about it, and a couple of teachers that I trusted at school as well. I found also in the first couple of days that my concentration would kind of just drift from, if I was studying something, I wouldn't really be focusing on it. I wouldn't really be focusing on mum either, I just wouldn't really be thinking. So when mum first had her surgery, it was really hard because I've always lived with mum, and so she was in hospital for about 2 weeks, and it was really hard to live without her at home. Obviously we tried to go to the hospital as much as we could and see mum and just see how she was going, and I think that helped everyone cope, just knowing that we were all there and we were able to see each other. As for now, we're kind of lucky that mum doesn't really need too much further treatment at the moment. She has to go for a lot of scans, But yeah, she'll always text as soon as she gets the results or call me and let me know that everything's okay, which is really helpful, really good. I coped all right. I mean, we all got through it. I think everyone's doing really well now, and I think sometimes we even forget about what happened last year because Mum's recovered so well and she's almost better than she was before. Yeah, we're really lucky to still have her and have her still be our mum. You need to build a support network with a couple of really close friends that you can trust, because you're going to need to have someone that you can talk to without stressing that you're going to worry them. If you're able to talk to your friends, they're able to, worry about you, and just able to let them know what's going on and how you're feeling, and that's really helpful as well. Also, you have to think positively throughout the whole experience, because I really believe that thinking positively and thinking about the best in each situation is just going to help the recovery for your parent or your loved one go a lot smoother and probably help the outcome.